Welcome to the Global Wellness HQ family of podcasts. We are your international headquarters for resources and ideas and insight in relation to the 9 elements of holistic wellness. Join us as we interview local and international wellness experts and learn how you can implement and improve one element or dimension of wellness at a time. Our experts will share their practical tips on wellness in one of these core areas: emotional, intellectual, occupational, physical, environmental, financial, spiritual, social, or habitual. We created our family of podcasts as a resource for anyone who is looking to integrate the 9 elements of holistic wellness into their daily lives. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Today we have Sara Im. Sara is a speaker and an author, and we're going to talk today about the killing fields. Not a light topic, but it's an important one. So, Sara, first of all, I'd like you to introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about why the killing fields.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me, Jeff. My name is Sara Im. I currently live in Clearwater, Florida, and I grew up in Cambodia. And I am one of the survivors of the killing fields in Cambodia. And I'm so grateful that God saved my life so that I can be here to tell my story, to give people hope. And I'm grateful to be here with Jeff, and we'll have a fun conversation today.
Well, Sara, I know you've got other places you could be, and I appreciate you hanging out with me today. First, let's share a little bit of background for those who aren't familiar. What was going on in Cambodia, and what are the killing fields?
Of course. In 1975, I was in college at that time and far away from my hometown, from my loving family, and the communist Khmer took over Cambodia. They came in in the military takeover. They marched into the capital city while I was there. And it was very scary. A lot of military wear black uniform, and they carry big automatic rifle, and was so intimidating. And they proceed to shut down the whole country, and they also evacuate the people from the city. So I was yelled at to demand that I came out, walk away from everything that I have, and I walk down the street with everybody else. So they push us to get away from all the city, and I end up in the camp. There was a camp that it's a forced labor camp. I was watched by military people all the time and work all the time. And during that transition, they separate people that they have on their blacklist, like people that used to work in the in the previous government, people in the previous military, people with higher education, and even the merchant that are very wealthy. That's everybody got on their blacklist, and they eliminate all of them. And not only just adult, they eliminate the whole family. It was unbelievable. They came with a madness and hateful in their heart. And from my side, I endure hard labor in the rice field. I receive very little food, and I work extremely long hours. in the intense sun all day long until I become sick. Many of us become sick, and I still have to go to work even though I was sick. And eventually, when my sickness is getting worse and worse, and I cannot work anymore, they sent me to an infirmary. That infirmary is just a place to separate the sick people from the working people, and there's nothing to help us to get better. So I realized that I'm going to die if I don't do anything to get out from the infirmary. So that's when I pray to God, and I pray and pray and pray, and I'm looking for my way out. But thank goodness I was able to get out from there. And when I got out, I met a one kind person, and she was one of the team leader in the work camp, and she taught the kitchen staff to take me in to help out in the kitchen. So that's one activity that saved my life, because working in the kitchen is totally different than working in the heat in the rice field all day long. So that's how I recover from my disease and regain my weight and my energy. So I survived the first phase, the first incident that I could have died, but I didn't. But
I think that's a big, in context. I think I read on your site that over 2 million Cambodians were killed in these killing fields. What was the next phase? How did you eventually escape from this oppression? Was it through and my history on Cambodia is very, very rusty. But how did you escape from this, and how did you start to rebuild your life?
well, after enduring 4 years in the forced labor camp, well, I didn't stay too long in the kitchen. As soon as I got well enough, they pulled me out from there and throw me back to work in the rice field again. So for 4 years, but after 4 years, they moved the camp to the jungle, move closer to the jungle. They probably hear something about somebody, another group that's coming to kick them out, but I didn't know. I have no idea what's going on, but they move us to the jungle, and I realized that the jungle is the wrong direction for me, because my goal is to endure so that at one point when I have an opportunity, I will go back home to look for my family. So my goal all this time is my family. But when I realize that I'm in the jungle, I start to think about escaping. And because I was frail, I lost a lot of weight, and I'm not well enough. So I gathered 3 of my close friends to escape with me. And we agree that we will wait until nighttime and we run away. We did. We did. Thank goodness. I have no idea why we didn't get lost in the jungle and how do we find a way out, but we did find a way out. So they did not catch us.
Wow.
That's how we got out. And then we asked for direction and go to my hometown and look for my family. It was a long, 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 long walk, but finally we found my family. So
Did you then, now you live in the United States, once you found your family, What was the journey that led you to moving to the United States, and how has that impacted you? And I want to talk about your book next.
Yeah, after I stayed with my family for more than a year to recover my health. But during that time, Cambodia was very chaotic. There was no government. There's nothing going on. And we have the communist Vietnamese came to liberate us from the Khmer Rouge, from the Cambodian communists. So we have another communist liberate us from the brutal communists. But my mom realized that we are still in danger. So we want to get out from Cambodia. But my mom was sick. She had a history of stroke, and she was not well enough to travel. I was the oldest person, the oldest child in the family. So she encouraged me to get out. In order to get out, there was no visa or no airplane ticket that I need to get. There's nothing like that. Everything was pretty much destroyed. So in order to get out is to escape, go to the Thai border and crossing the border that is filled with landmines along the border. But because I get out from the jungle about 4 months behind everybody else, the whole country was liberated 4 months before I came out. So that's maybe that's how God stopped me, to protect me from stepping on the landmine. A lot of people die crossing the border. But by the time I crossed the border, most of the landmine was already exploded. And after a dangerous crossing, I got into Thailand. Cambodia and Thailand are next door to each other. So that's how I went. And as soon as I crossed the border into Thailand, I found a refugee camp that was established by United Nations. So in that camp, I registered as a refugee. I received some food, some supply, and then I searched for my relative that had been in United States for a while. So once I made connection with him in United States, he made a paperwork to sponsor me to come. So that's how I came to United States. Legally, of course.
To be clear, yes. And I know some of my viewers would love to get into some of the details of your journey and things like that. I want to talk about what you want to talk about, and I think what I'd like to talk about first, and then we'll get into whatever we cover. Let's fast forward to, you wrote a book. I want to hear what motivated you to write the book and what your message is, coming out of all of the atrocities and chaos. You would be justifiably right if you were angry, but you have a message of hope, and you want to make the world a better place. So what brought you to write your book? How did that come about?
Well, to start with, I can say that I had no intention to write the book. This is after 35 years of hiding, try to push back all the memory, try to forget. And one of my friends, through networking, she likes me enough to speak in her wellness seminar, and she likes me, and she encouraged me to write a book about the wellness book. And I said, no, forget it. I don't have any credential. And then so I pushed her away. And then the next time I saw her, I said, you know what? I have something else to write about. So that's my story. And I told her a little bit about the story because I realized that at one point, about a couple months before the incident that she challenged me to write a book, I was speaking at a small women gathering at the luncheon, and I share my story. And one lady in the luncheon cried after she heard my story, and I found out that one of her child died of suicide. And that woke me up. That opened my eyes. I realized that even though people live in this beautiful country, they still have challenge. They still have obstacle in their life that they make a very bad decision to take their own life. I think, what if they know how bad my life had been? It might have saved their life. That's what I was thinking. So my story might have saved somebody's life. So that's when the spark spark to think about using my story to help other people.
Who are watching, I'm going to highly encourage you to go and check out How to Survive the Killing Fields, a story of hope, love, and determination. And Sarah, I'm really happy to share this story with my audience, because one of the fundamental issues I'm passionate about is helping spread hope and love and things like that. But suicide is one of those really unfathomable problems where, as a society, we just accept it and sort of, well, at least it wasn't me, or, what can I do about it? And I love that you were so moved by it that you decided to share your story. And I'm going to guess that writing the book, I've co-authored a couple of books on traumatic historic events and atrocities. I'm going to guess it brought up a lot of pain for you, and reliving a lot of that suffering. But I'm really grateful to you for doing it from that lens of, how do I spread hope and how do I help people?
Yes, that's my goal. My goal is to share that life can be very difficult, but if I can make it through, they too can make it through whatever challenge that they are facing. So have hope and be encouraged that you can do it. You can pass through this dark time, and you will find the light again.
I love that. The light is always there. We just need to find it. Would you agree?
Yes, yes.
That's, I don't make light of any of this, because I think, somebody who is in that state where they think the only solution, I heard it worded very well somewhere, and I wish I could remember the exact quote, but basically it said, suicide is a very permanent solution to very temporary problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that more people would see that there is light, there is hope. So we're going to talk, for my viewers, we're going to talk about Sara and her mission now. So tell me how you're spreading your mission. And you mentioned that you're looking to do more speaking. So let's talk about what you're hoping to accomplish through this transformation into a world of hope, love, and determination.
Course, sure, yes. The reason why I wrote my book, the reason why I put myself through this speaking business is very challenging, especially for me, that English is not my first language. I have all kinds of mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes, but my
I'm native English and I make mistakes, so we love you just as you are, Sarah.
but I realize that it's the message that's important. It's not a little error here and there. The message is this: never give up hope. No matter what happens, you can always find hope. And in order to find hope, we have to have faith. Have to have faith that you have to have faith in yourself that you can make it through. You can make it through. And for me, what helped me to have that faith is the love for my family. Before the communists took over our country, my mom was paralyzed from an accident. I was the caregiver because I was the firstborn child. As my care for her, my love grew because I have compassion. I want her to get well again. Through that compassion, through that care and love, that strengthened my love relationship with my mom. I think God put that in place so that I can have something secure to stand on when my life was in total darkness. And with that love that compelled me to keep fighting for my life. And that's how the faith come in play also. I believe that there is God. God knows. And he can help us to get through it if we believe. So I have that belief that one of these days, I will have an opportunity to find my family again. So all this component is play in place. We have to have a goal, a purpose in our life. My purpose at that time was my family. And then once you have purpose, we will have goal. So we will do whatever it is to move on with our goal, to reach that purpose. And also believe in the faith and have that hope, the secure, strong hope and the determination that we will make it through. We will get into the light. So that's my philosophy. That's how I make it through because of the certain circumstance in my life that I stand on. I stand on the love, I stand on the faith and the hope that helped me to move forward to reach my goal.
And I really love the message, and it's fascinating. A lot of the people I talk to who've survived any great tragedy, usually they found love or faith in the process. And I know there are people out there who also found the opposite, they're bitter and resentful, but I really appreciate that you took the things that life handed you, the challenges, and now you're using that as a powerful platform to help others see that light. And I'm going to figure out ways to connect people. So for my viewers that are watching this, we're going to talk next about the kind of places you would like to speak. We might as well put it out there for the universe, and I'm sure somebody watching this is going to say, Sarah would be perfect to speak at my next event. First of all, what kind of events, groups would you like to speak to? And what's your general theme of your talk?
I have a few ideas that might be a very good place to start, but my message of inspiration and hope can fit in many events. But I would like to speak at the corporate events, because sometimes the corporate didn't realize that their employee can use the inspiration so that they can be inspired, be encouraged. So corporate event, seminar, conference, all kind of conference, they would have a spot for inspiration, because inspiration is the spark, the excitement, the fuel that help people to come out of the event and change their heart. It's not, people are not really seeking all the technical things. They can read it, they can Google.
Yep.
They can Google, but the message from the life experience, that they cannot Google. So.
Well, and I'll speak to that, Sarah. I've been to many, many conferences, and I can tell you the speakers that moved me, and I've forgotten every single speaker who taught me technical things. And I think that's if you're arranging corporate events, leave room on your agenda and make room on your agenda. I'm going to be really, really specific. Make room on your agenda for hope, for love, for determination. Bring in speakers like Sarah, or actually more specifically, bring in people and have Sarah speak to them. I can attest, just having moments with this wonderful human being, it's uplifting. And Sarah, I appreciate the energy and the love that you bring, because I think if we help the corporate entities, if people start to realize that we have people working for us, not employees, but people, I think bringing a little bit of heart back into corporate America is a very good thing. What are your thoughts on my rambling?
Yes, definitely, because the corporate have to reinvent their thinking. Their employees is the is the good asset. It's wonderful asset. If they treat their employee well, that employee, all those employees become very productive. When they are at peace, positive, they will be productive.
And I think that's just, if somebody is feeling valued as a human, and from a corporate point of view, we can talk about dollars and productivity. They're also way more loyal. They're going to stick around. They're going to put their heart into the company rather than just putting in their time. I love it. Now, what does having Sara come in and speak look like? How do they reach out to you? How can my audience get to know you better? I'm going to put in a shameless plug. Obviously, they should buy your book. But how can they connect and engage deeper with you as the speaker and author?
Well, they can reach out to me through my website. I have many links, whatever they like to get access to. I have some of my future speaking events posted there. And I have a weekly podcast that I do with my co-host on Facebook Live, featuring some thriving story, people that have overcome their adversity and now they are thriving. I can invite the audience to become our guest as well. And also, you can get to see a little bit about my book and order the book, because the book is the bike story that I've derived to use my speaking engagement from. But one of your questions, you asked, what will I speak about? I speak about different things. I speak, especially, it's about resilience. Resilient. People keep telling me, I was so resilient. That's how I can survive. So resilience can be very useful in our life. And I love to talk about how do we build our own resilience. We don't wait until things bad happen, until you have a circumstance. You build resilience while you are still well, you are still at peace. There are ways to build resiliency. So remember I told you a little bit about my caregiving to my mom. That's when I built my resiliency because I built such a strong love bond with my mom. That's powerful for resilience and a relationship. People to people relationship is one of the important core to build resilience.
I love that message, and I want to just underline it. And if I can come back to my experience in the world of suicide, what I hear the most is that when somebody makes that choice, they say things along the lines of, I felt alone. And I'm going to tie this to the recovery programs, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. A lot of them, the foundation is serving others, because it's really hard to feel sorry for yourself when you serve others, when you're helping. So Sara, I just want to thank you for being an inspiration. What are some of the resources? So I know you have a very active Facebook page. I know you're on LinkedIn and you've got a website. Where's the best place for people to find your book?
Oh, it's on my website as well. It's saraim.com/book. That's the only place they can get my book.
I love it. And I will put a link in the show notes. Now, Sara, we could talk for hours because you're a fabulously fascinating human being. Is there anything you'd like to say to my audience? I have one more question, but if there's anything you'd like to say before we wrap up our time together, which has been way too short, but anything you'd like to add?
Yes, I would like to add one more thing to help the audience to move on with your life is to have the forgiveness. Forgive. Forgive, that's the key to unlock your future. For me, I can hold on to my bitterness, my anger, resentment all my life, but it doesn't do me any good. I have to let go. I have to release that, to find the ways to forgive so that we will open our heart for love. Love cannot come if you hold on to that resentment and anger and bitterness. So let's go. Forgive.
I love that, and I really, really appreciate that. So if somebody wants to bring you in as a speaker, what's the best place to connect with you? Is it on your LinkedIn or Facebook or either?
LinkedIn will be the best.
Awesome. And I just want to do a little bit of a thank you because, first of all, I want to thank you. I'd love to thank, I think it was Shamika Volkers who connected us. So
Yes, yes.
shout out, hi Shamika. Just know that you were in our hearts in this conversation. Sara, I would love to have you back. We can have more conversations about things, but I think my big question would be, there's a lot of divisiveness going on in the world today. What would you like to see? What's the change? What does the world look like, 10 years from now because of your message?
Well, I would like to see people more confident, more resilient, more at peace, confident, resilient, and peace, and love to one another. We speak love so freely, but love, the importance of love for one another is so important. because of the lack of love, that's why the communist Khmer rule came in and killed 2 million people, because of lack of love. And that's why I said love is very important, and a human relationship. So I would love to love. You see, I use a love again. I would like to see people change their heart, release the hardness, the bitterness from their heart, and replace it with love. So it's not that easy, but it can be. It's possible. I'd love to spread the love and the hope.
That is truly a beautiful message. And, I genuinely believe that, if we build authentic relationships, love is easier than hate. There's other paths, obviously, but, there's a certain energy level that comes with loving people unconditionally, and there's a certain energy cost to hating. And me personally, I go the path of least resistance, and I find it's generally easier to love. Hate takes energy.
Yes, yes. If we are going to spend energy anyway, why wouldn't we spend for something that is beneficial?
Yeah. And love can be creative, and it can be, simple little things like just saying hi to somebody or smiling at someone. Um, Again, I'm a big believer that I don't know how I'm going to make a difference in somebody's life, but if I try to be a positive difference, I know that ripples out, makes the world a better place. So Sara, you are clearly one of those people who's shining your light and helping others see their own light. So, on behalf of the planet, I can't wait to see how you change the world in the next 10 years. And I want to thank you for taking the time to be with me here today.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to our show. We hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we invite you to either click the link below or scan the QR code to register and listen to other episodes of our podcast. Or if you think your business or you would be a great guest to be on our show, we're always looking for experts in one of the 9 elements of holistic wellness. We'd love to have you. You can either click the link below or you can scan the QR code and complete our speaker intake form. Thank you, and to your wellness.